Plitvice's second exclusive weapon, a one-handed sword, will be introduced in the upcoming patch. In this video, I will conduct a comprehensive review of the weapon's abilities and Plitvice's playstyle with this new addition. I will also provide insights on item builds that are suitable for the new weapon and offer tips on how to make the most of its capabilities. Let's go straight to her new abilities. Plitvice will now be having a party buff of crit hit multiplier plus 100%. She will also have a skill damage plus 15%. This party buff is beneficial for boosting DPS. While it can be utilized in various game modes, it is particularly useful in raid content where dealing damage is crucial. Her normal attack is called Spreading Flames. It is divided into two parts: the regular attack and the character skill. Starting with the regular attack, Flooding Fire throws blade pieces at the enemy to inflict range damage and leaves a separated blade piece behind. This effect overlaps up to 4 times. The attack speed of Plitvice's new attack closely resembles that of Lupina's. However, it cannot penetrate walls and obstacles, so I would not suggest using it in areas where those are present. Next is the character skill, Burst. Controls the separated blade pieces to inflict range damage to enemies. Since this character skill is heavily reliant on Plitvice's normal attack, I would advise against using it in areas with walls and obstacles, as her attacks cannot pass through them. Her chain skill is called Sentence. It is down to airborne. Drops a giant sword to inflict 350% of DPS as range damage around the target. Decrease fire type resistance by 30% for 5 seconds. The chain skill's fire type resistance reduction will have excellent synergy with a fire DPS team. Additionally, the skill's ailment effect is beneficial as enemies in the airborne status receive 50% more damage from ranged characters. I can probably use it in any of the game content. Her special ability is called Embers. When burst is at max overlap, inflict additional 150% of DPS as range damage. Based on the number of blade pieces, the crit hit chance will increase by 10% and up to a max of 40%. This effect applies based on the target with the most overlapped effects. Since this special ability is also heavily reliant on Plitvice's normal attack, then my suggestion on this ability would be the same. Now let's see her exclusive weapon. Her exclusive weapon is called Halo, and it's an epic one-handed sword. Her weapon has impressive DPS stats, almost identical to Rey's exclusive weapon. However, what sets it apart is the bonus stats obtained through its limit break. It has a crit hit chance plus 10% bonus, which differs from the usual plus 10% attack bonus. This bonus is particularly beneficial for her because it complements her party buff of crit hit multiplier very well. It is definitely usable in every game content. Its weapon ability is: on equipping, the hero's abilities will change to fit the weapon. Crit hit multiplier will increase 3 times the exceeding crit hit chance. Party effects will change to crit hit multiplier. Normal attack will change to Spreading Flames. Chain skill will change to Sentence. Special ability will change to Embers. Her weapon skill is called Flames of Penitence. It is level 5. It has 285% DPS and a cooldown time of 8.3 seconds. Binds the enemy to inflict range damage. Puts enemies in a down state. This skill is quick and highly accurate for efficiently targeting enemies, making it particularly useful for inflicting ailments on boss enemies that tend to teleport, fly, and hide. Overall, it is a valuable skill to use across all game content. Now let's analyze her overall kits. Based on our checklist, this is my recommendation. I wouldn't recommend using her second weapon in story mode for 3 reasons. Firstly, her attack cannot penetrate walls, which makes it difficult to clear stages with enemies that hide behind obstacles. Secondly, her party buff is not effective in story mode because it boosts crit hit multiplier, which isn't a useful stat for surviving. Thirdly, her new weapon reduces her toughness, eliminates her defensive capabilities, and removes her passive healing on normal attacks, leaving her vulnerable to attacks and making it easy for her to be defeated. I also do not recommend using her second weapon in Arena 3v3 for the same reasons as in story mode. Her normal attack cannot penetrate walls, which makes it difficult to defeat enemies who hide behind them. Additionally, she is a glass cannon character and is prone to dying quickly in Arena, even with defensive item builds. Her party buff is not well suited for Arena because it relies on having another character with a crit hit chance party buff to be effective. In my opinion, her second weapon can be used in Colosseum since it's a long-range weapon. However, I don't believe it will become a popular choice or perform as well as other long-range DPS characters because her kit is focused on enhancing fireteam DPS. I highly recommend using Plitvice's second weapon in Guild Raid and Boss Rush. Firstly, she can be an excellent fire DPS unit because her chain skill decreases the fire type resistance of enemies by 30%. Additionally, the airborne status inflicted by her chain skill increases the damage received from ranged characters by 50%. Secondly, her party buff is a great DPS multiplier for the entire team. She synergizes well with Lucy, who provides crit hit chance party buff, enabling Plitvice's party buff to work effectively. Lastly, her weapon skill is easy to use and can be effective against boss monsters that have skills to dodge attacks or hide on the ground. It is also useful for applying ailment status to enemies. The same recommendations as Colosseum apply for Expedition, Co-op, and Camazon. While she can be used in all of these game modes, she may not perform as well as other DPS characters because her kit is focused on enhancing fireteam DPS. I had expected Plitvice's second exclusive weapon to be focused on either PvP or PvE raids, and it seems I was correct. She has been turned into a raid character, similar to Vishavak, and has been given range DPS abilities as well as flying animation, just like Vishavak. I understand that not everyone will appreciate her new weapon, but as someone who uses Plitvice regularly, I am happy that they made this weapon for her, even if it only works well in raids. Did you know that she is still my primary DPS for story mode? She can handle hard stages even without limit breaking. As a longtime player of this game, it is disheartening to see that Plitvice is no longer as useful or powerful as she once was. However, I am grateful that I now have the option to use her in guild raids and boss rush. I hope that my review will assist you in determining whether or not to invest in her second exclusive weapon. Now let's go to the item builds. Let's start with a DPS build. You can use it on Expedition, boss rush, guild raids, or any game mode that require DPS. For accessories, if you choose to put her as the party leader, it would be beneficial to equip her with accessories that offer skill damage and weapon skill regen speed stats. However, if you plan to use her as a sub-DPS, it is recommended to equip accessories that provide high crit hit chance and attack stats. For cards, I recommend using 2 skill damage cards if she's the party leader, and 1 crit and 1 attack card if she's only a member of the party. For merch, use Ample Statue of Bravery or Invader Mothership Replica, depending on the enemy HP. For relic, use Eternal Unity because of its crit hit chance party stats. Choose attack, crit, and skill damage for the options, and make sure to enchant for a crit hit multiplier sub-options. You can also enchant it with damage to boss monster if you are planning to focus on raids and rush.
뭐해? 울어? 뭐해? 울어?
That's it for now, don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.